Welcome to the Creative Me podcast. Coming to you from Guernsey in the Channel Islands. This is episode 48, Why Isn't Anyone Reading My Blog? Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Creative Me podcast. Today we are answering the question, why isn't anyone reading my blog? In order to answer this question for you, I'm going to throw 9 questions back at you. Yes, I'm answering a question with 9 other questions, but please bear with me. In order to work out why your readership isn't growing, I think these 9 questions will really help you. So do answer them as honestly as you can. Treat this as an audit of your blog, perhaps. Question number 1 is, do you have a clear niche? Establishing a niche for your blog is absolutely essential because if it's not clear what you're blogging about very specifically, then people just simply don't know what to expect from you. They don't know what they're going to get when they turn up on your website. So think about your blog purpose. In other words, the topics that you blog about, and make sure you are super clear on exactly what that is. Next up, make sure that your reader is really clear on what that is too. On to the second question, do you know who you are writing for? So, to be honest, I tend to think of niche as covering what you're writing about and who you are writing for, but we're kind of splitting the two up in this explanation. So, think about your ideal customer avatar. This is something that I've talked about on the podcast before, and I have a great blog post I can share with you, which includes a downloadable worksheet so you can work out exactly who your ideal reader or your ideal customer avatar actually is. I'll link to that in the show notes, which you'll be able to find at martinellis.com/48. When you go through the ideal customer avatar exercise, you go into loads of detail and you imagine one person who embodies your ideal reader or your ideal customer. When I'm thinking about my ideal blog reader, I simply treat them as a customer because it just seems to make more sense to me. Question 3. Are the images on your blog attractive and compelling? Again, I've blogged about this on numerous occasions, so I'm going to share some information in the show notes with you and some resources to help you up your game when it comes to blog photography. Question 4, is your site mobile responsive? So many of your blog readers are going to be looking at your blog on a teeny tiny mobile device. So you need to ensure the user experience is as pleasant as possible. You can test this yourself by just looking at your blog on your own mobile. If your theme that you've chosen for your blog isn't mobile responsive, you need to research other options that are. Question 5. Are you being really useful with your blog posts? Are you helping your reader? Most people these days read blogs to find the answer to a question or, alternatively, to get inspiration. So with the content that you're creating, are you being really useful or inspirational? If you aren't, you perhaps need to reconsider the types of blog posts and the content that you're creating. Question 6. Are you posting your content consistently? When I say consistently, I'm not saying you have to be posting once a week. You could post once a month. You could post once every fortnight. But the key is that consistent pattern of posting. Whatever the frequency you choose is, you choose it and you stick to it. And The one thing that I can suggest that will really help you keep to a consistent posting schedule is setting up a content calendar. I've got a template that I can share with you, so hop over to the show notes, martinellis.com/48, and you can download it there. Consistency is really important because, again, you want your reader to know what to expect from you. And also, there is so much content out there that if you disappear for a few months, you're as good as forgotten about. I know it's harsh, but it's true. So consistent posting is essential, and it will keep people coming back to your blog for more. Question 7. You're writing all this content, but are you telling people it's actually there? Are you effectively distributing your content via social media channels? Are you letting people on your email list know that you've posted something new on your blog? If you aren't, it's not surprising people aren't reading your blog. You can't just build it and expect people to flock. You need to tell people it's there. Some time ago, I created some diagrams to illustrate the way I distribute my blog content. So I will make sure that that information is made available to you on the show notes. Question 8. Does your website load quickly? Everyone is in such a hurry these days, particularly when browsing online. So when someone visits your blog, it's absolutely essential that the site loads quickly. If it doesn't, people will get bored and they will leave. It's just a fact, unfortunately. It's very easy to test the speed of your website. I will pop a link in the show notes to Google's page speed tools. There you can just pop in the URL for your blog and see how quickly it loads. It will also give you suggestions on how to make your page load more quickly. Question number 9, and the final question I'm going to ask you: are your blog posts littered with grammatical errors? Now, I don't want to come across as pedantic here, and I absolutely guarantee it, there will be some form of typo in my show notes. I know there will be. However, just stop for a moment and think about why we use correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation. The reason we do it is to ensure that what we're writing is easily understood. Therefore, if you litter your blog posts with spelling, grammar, and punctuation errors, it's going to be hard to read. And our job as bloggers is to get our message across as clearly as we possibly can. Now, you might be listening to this thinking, Martine, I know what you're saying, but I'm just not great with spelling, punctuation, and grammar. I hear you, and I would highly recommend you focus on this as an area for development for yourself and you work on improving your skills. Personally, I really don't remember being taught a great deal about spelling, punctuation, and grammar at school. Spelling maybe, but certainly not punctuation. My punctuation up until the age of 30 was absolutely appalling. But that doesn't mean you can't correct the situation now. That doesn't mean you can't develop your skills further. Before you publish a blog post, I highly recommend leaving it rest for 24 hours and then going back to proofread it, because if you've not looked at the blog post for 24 hours and you read it again, you are more likely to spot any errors. You could also ask somebody else to proofread your work. That is another really good strategy. Finally, I recommend investing in Grammarly. It's a fantastic spell checking tool and it's way superior to standard spell checkers. Those are my 9 questions to help you establish why you aren't growing your blog readership. I really hope they've helped you think about what you can do to improve your blogging. Of course, if you have any questions, please hop over to my private Facebook group, The Lightbulb Club. Just visit thelightbulb.club and ask away. There are loads of bloggers in there who would be very happy to help you. I spend perhaps a little bit too much time in there too, so I would love to see you in there. I'll make sure there's a freebie in the show notes for this episode for you, martinellis.com/48, as well as lots of links to previous blog posts I've written that could help you. Your freebie today will be my blog post workflow checklist. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that I'm attending a blogging event in the UK this weekend. I'm going to Blogtacular. So do keep an eye out for me on social media because I will be reporting back on what I'm learning as often as I can. Okay, that's it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed the episode and I hope you'll join me next week.